want to move your life forward in the most positive way using astrology? Then let's talk about the astrological patterns for June 2014. The month begins with Venus in Taurus, which is beautiful because that's the sign that Venus rules. And when we have a planet in the sign that it rules, it's more powerful. So Venus in Taurus is sensual, and it's going to stay in that sign until the 22nd. One thing we should be aware of is typically when Venus is in Taurus, we tend to want more fatty foods or sweet foods or overindulge a little bit because it is so incredibly sensual. On the other hand, it can be incredibly creative, and there's a beautiful energy for art, and the sense of beauty is very strong. So that's going to be in that sign until the 22nd. On June 7th, Mercury turns retrograde in early Cancer. It goes retrograde and then scoots back into the late degrees of Gemini. It'll go direct again on July 1st, and then it'll hit those early degrees of Cancer again in the middle of July. So if you have planets in the early part of Cancer or in the late part of Gemini, then this Mercury retrograde is going to activate some of your planets. But otherwise, don't worry about it too much. You know, Mercury retrograde is a great time to reorganize something, rethink. It can actually be an incredibly productive time. On June 13th, we have a big, beautiful full moon in Sagittarius, and it's always such a delightful energy when it's in Sagittarius because this is when we laugh. This is when we have fun and tell jokes. This is when we are lighthearted and we want to exercise and move our bodies. It's going to be a great full moon, so pay attention on June 13th. On June 27th, we have a new moon in Cancer, which is an incredibly powerful new moon because the moon rules that sign. And that's going to be in the early degrees of Cancer, and I'll talk to you more about that on my next new moon video. So let's summarize the astrological patterns for June 2014. We start off with Venus in Taurus, which is very strong. It will be in that sign for most of the month. Then we have Mercury turning retrograde in the early part of the month, scooting back into Gemini, where it's very powerful, by the way. And then we have the full moon coming up in Sagittarius, which is a delightful, happy, lucky sort of full moon. And then the very powerful new moon at the end of the month in Cancer. It's a nice month, and I think that Mercury retrograde could be quite interesting since it will back up into the sign that it rules. Thank you. I'm Kathy Rose.